Hello Pawns, welcome to Save File Stories. Today we're going to be playing Survival of the Fittest. It is going to be an exciting game of having 12 pawns compete to the death. Not fighting each other, but of survival. And so we're going to create a colony of 12 individuals, and they are not going to be recruiting anyone. What we have is who we'll get. And despite maybe a little bit of editing the characters to make sure that it's a little bit more balanced, we're just going to see and cast our lots to see who's going to survive and who's going to be the last one standing. If they make it to the end to the ship, they probably won't, but if they do, kudos to them. Alright, let's get started. New colony. So we're just going to do the classic crash landed scenario. So go ahead, select that. We do like to suffer, so blood and dust, and Randy because we don't need structure in our lives. Commitment mode. Next. Alright, so I don't think we need anything new for this. So for the creating of the world, I don't see really a point to having a larger globe coverage. Most of these I don't think we really need to change a whole lot, although since we need to make it difficult to survive, let's go ahead and make a higher actual tilt. That means that it's going to be harsher summers and harsher winters. Gotta love it. Yeah, nothing else that's really important to change, so generate. Alright, so here is our map here. Looks like we got some sort of kind of crescent or waning moon type deal going on here. I do want to locate ourselves somewhere where we're probably not going to do a lot of treating. I don't mind those typically, but in this situation as Survival of the Fittest, doesn't really make sense to. Oh, here looks like we have a faction that already hates us, so that's kind of up our alley. And we have an impassable mountain range. This area looks like it would suck to be stuck on, so why not? Looks like we're going to have a desert trial here. Let's see. I'm going to look to see if there's anything of interest nearby. We got coastal cities. We may hear coves, cove islands. Let's see. We may just end up doing a normal coast, which is fine if that's the case. Coastal island. Alright, we got ourselves the northern peninsula. Not too crazy, but I think it'll be something exciting. And we're going to be doing some, what kind of rocks we have here? Slate sandstone. That's special. Perfect. Alright, let's select that. Okay, for our ideology, we're just going to do a fluid ideology here. I think probably for survivors. I think what would be best. We should do an angry god. Why not? So let's do an abstract deist. Somewhere out there, we don't know. And let's see. What does this religion require of us? I believe that any kind of male or female supremacy would probably make it so that we'd definitely be giving a benefit to one side over the other. Let's see. What I would really like is to have some cannibals. I think that would be perfect for a group that needs to survive, especially if they're going to have some harsh winters. Of course, they're in the desert, so maybe not something that we have to worry about. Let's just do human primacy. So we are the moral center of the universe. That is what the abstract god demands, which is known as Vorus. Alright, Vorus created all of nature and gave it to man as gifts. Thank you, Vorus. To serve man and his purposes forever. Though many adventurers moved against her. Oh, Vorus is a female. Vorus prevented them easily, for she was the goddess of creation. Across the vast stellar distances, Empress's will sustained the life of mankind against the void. Interesting love lore. Alright, let's see here. We have the first Sapien as the leader. I love that. The Cleric Faith as the world guide. What else we got? Priest of Vorus. I like that. Let's keep Vorus into the lore. And why not have a build master? I think we're going to need something that's going to help us out here. Okay. Let's just make sure. I don't mind sacrificing animals, but we just need to make sure that we're not going to have anything that's going to give us a... Okay, good. So we just don't want anything that's going to be giving us new people. Looks like we got knee pillows, a shrine, and a carving. Yeah, I guess that's what Vorus looks like. I don't know what I expected, honestly. An LMG is one of their relics, along with some sort of box. I think with them being in this survival situation, let's not have any kind of venerated animals. They're just gonna have to eat what they can find. I don't want to make them sad because they need to eat a cat or something. I don't know what they're gonna eat. Alright, and this is where we're going to use the mod Prepare Carefully. So we're going to grab that. I'm going to move these over, especially in case there's any kind of relationship. I think that would make things a lot more interesting. Alright, we're going to add 4 more. Right now that we have our 12 contestants, let's go ahead and make sure that they are all more or less in the same playing field here. We don't want anyone actually interested in fighting. We're going to give them 3 skill level, which is basic familiarity. Everything else we're going to leave pretty much the same. So we got your slowpoke, night owl, and such, and anything like that. We're going to leave. Let's see. Alright, so we have here somebody who is going to have a benefit because they're going to be a lot better at melee and shooting due to their backstory. Medieval minister? Was that minstrel? Was traveling entertainer on a medieval world. Alright, so it's going to teach you how to hit people. And they were a soldier? Okay, so that makes a lot of sense. One thing also, as we're going through all these, make sure that they're all about the same. I'm not going to be changing any of the other interests. So if we have nobody who's interested in arts, anything like intellectual, medical, that's going to be just something they're going to have to deal with. So that can make things a lot more interesting. Alright, and also for equipment over here, we're going to leave all the flak stuff, which is just one set. We're just going to let them fight for it. And we're going to give them all their own revolver, because again, we want to make sure this is more or less as even as we can make it.
We land on our little peninsula, and right off the bat, this looks like a nightmare to try to survive on. Great defendability. There are only going to be enemies coming down from here, so that's great. But as far as actually getting food, it looks like we have 2 animals right now, and I'm going to go out on a limb and say that this is probably going to be that ancient danger, maybe this one. But yeah, food is going to be a problem. But it looks like we got some medicine. That's going to be pretty helpful. Oh my gosh, so just kind of looking at this place, there's no wood anywhere. I think I found this one cactus. Let's see. Yes, there is one cactus on this entire map. I'm almost thinking maybe we shouldn't cut it down. I don't know if that's how the seeds work, if things just grow anywhere at all, or if it has to first get a seed from somewhere else. I feel like that's a little bit more complicated than what this game usually goes for. But I think we're just going to leave this cactus as secret. Alright, so I think one of our first priorities is going to have to be to get some of those stones to be able to make any kind of structure, being that there's no wood at all. What little wood we did spawn in, I think we're going to have to focus on just making that into beds. I don't know if that's going to be enough for all of them. Actually, looking at it, I think that's probably going to be enough for half of them. That's just going to be what they're going to have to deal with. Let's go ahead and give them all their guns. And it also looks like we have a pet monkey. We'll see how long that's going to last, being that I don't know if we have enough food to actually be keeping it around. We may actually have to resort to eating that monkey. Same with this little terrier, which I think looks like to be just as helpful as the monkey. Going to be able to help with attack, and that's what we got so far for it. Let's go ahead and look a little bit more at what our colony here is going to be capable of. Okay, so it looks like we have 2 doctors. That's going to be really helpful. Everybody loves animals, and being that there are no animals here, that's going to be a bummer. We got 2 chefs, so thank goodness. I'm going to go ahead and make them all hunters. It's just easier to know when somebody doesn't have a gun. Very few for construction, and not as many people able to craft that I would like. A little too many artists as well. And I think, unfortunately, we're just going to have to force some people to do some growing and some mining. Luckily, we were able to find an actual bed that was worth keeping around. So instead of building all these beds, we're just going to go ahead and take that one. It's going to be pretty helpful. Looking around, there's not really a whole lot of other helpful structures, minus the ancient danger that's going to be something we're going to have to deal with later. Again, not really sure if these are both ancient dangers. I don't remember if that's something that's possible to happen. But for the most part, it just looks like normal things that we're going to be... Ooh, plasteel walls. Yeah, normal things that we're going to be just tearing down for the resources. All right, and just as Smelly crosses by, we do have confirmation this is an ancient danger. So we're going to have to keep an eye out for that. Maybe once we get some better weapons, we'll be able to go in and see what we can find. Again, if we find any people in there, tough luck, but they can't join our colony. I think as they were all constructing, I think that one of the things that Smelly decided to talk about was, let's see what we can find here, vomiting. Exactly what I think somebody named Smelly would be talking about. Do they have... No, not the best social skills, so I think we can tell. But they're going to be an essential medic, so I think they're going to have to deal with the fact that she's not really great at talking. And also, as they're crafting all these, we're going to go ahead and start make any stone block. I guess forever. I mean, we're going to need everything eventually, most likely, so might as well get started. Sandstone, so let's go ahead and start using that to make our first building. I do have a mod that gives me random things from previous games, not my games, but from other people. Really, really great. I'll put it in the description, but I love the fact that we even know the author of this unfinished sculpture. No other information, just that Dennis left us a nice little marble unfinished sculpture. Of course, so if we press C, which I'm going to in here in a second, it doesn't give us marble. It just disappears. So, thank you, Dennis. Throw that in trash. Alrighty, looks like we got some people showing their dominance, as we have 8 people who get to sleep in a bed and 4 people who get to sleep in sand. I don't know if that would be comfortable or not. I feel like that would be like sleeping in memory foam, but I don't know, I guess it depends on how coarse and how rough that sand is. I don't know. Never like sand. It's rough. It gets everywhere. It looks like we need to make our first adjustment. Well, we have 3 people who apparently aren't doing anything. 2 of them seem to be our senior citizens, just by a hair. Let's see, Callie, the cultist, doesn't seem to be really doing anything. Doesn't really seem like they're capable of doing much. I might end up letting them do doctor work eventually, but let's see, wardening, handling. Can't even cook. Wow. Honestly, don't know. We're gonna have to maybe find some things for them to haul around. We also have Ace Vito and Cat. Let's see what they can do here. Cat's going to be a researcher in time, so that's going to be helpful. Looks like we're going to be making Acevedo a cook as time goes on, once we get something established for them. One thing's for sure, though, I think that food's definitely going to be a trouble here. I think we may need to farm more than the little we can, because even if this grows in time, which I don't think it will, this is not really enough, because it's also stony soil, so it's not going to grow very fast. So let's see what else we can get here. Alright, so it looks like we already are getting quite a bit to put away on the shelves. So that said, I think I'm going to go ahead and see if we can build our first research table here. I'll make that sandstone. But yeah, looks like once again we're going to have a problem with steel. Let's see what we can find. Oh, thank goodness. So it looks like for one reason or another there was actually a lot of steel just in the ocean. So that's going to be very helpful for them. We're going to go ahead and scrap these ship chunks as well. One thing that's interesting that ended up happening is we do have someone else who's now idle, and taking a look at them, I did not realize just how useless this person is. They can carry a gun. That is almost the extent of everything they can do. They cannot do any kind of even rescue, any kind of doctor work, social, cooking, construction, growing, mining, or anything skilled, it looks like. So that's quite the tactic. Get everyone else to do the work for you. If she makes it towards the end, she's going to be struggling, especially if she's going to need food at all, because I don't know what she's going to end up doing if she needs to cook her own food. Let's see how that plays out for her. It's probably going to cause some tension with the other candidates here. I do suppose one thing that would be pretty easy to make in all this is we're going to be able to do windmills pretty easily. There's not going to be anything at all, actually anything, that's going to be blocking these windmills, so that might be our main source of power here. Okay, so it looks like as we're going along, it does look like we have two ancient dangers. Thanks to Cat, we did find that out. And now I also see where everybody has been going, and why we haven't had anyone helping out cutting stone. It looks like everyone is mining, so I'm going to have to cut that back a little bit. But yeah, that's going to be interesting. We're going to have two chances to go out there and see where I was in these things. Hopefully food, I guess, because that's going to be definitely the main issue we're going to run into. I'm really starting to rethink this decision about the cactus. We were really desperate for wood. Maybe we'll end up cutting it. We could grow our own wood, but really we're just so desperate for beds. We may end up giving some people some slate or sandstone beds. I don't know if there's really a deficit for that, but I can't imagine that being too comfortable. All right, and of course, we do already have an issue with food. While it hasn't even been long enough for the game to warn us, we only have 10 packs of food left, and they are chopping them down. Make that 9. Thanks to Harris. And at this point, we don't even have something to cut up animals once we kill them. Although I think we'll have to go ahead and kill this fox, as it is probably going to be munching down on this iguana that we're going to have to cut up pretty soon, I think. All right, so it looks like somebody decided to cheer everybody up, despite the fact that we still have no food. Zach thought it would be a good time to throw a party. So, good idea, Zach. We always we know that party animal. Let's go ahead and give him that nickname. Typo there for Patty Animal, and I almost decided to stick with that, but nah. And despite the fact that he's started the party, it looks like some people are actually more interested in building. It does look like they stopped, but I wouldn't blame them, honestly, because I'd be hungry. And just with that, after a few awkward conversations, they're back to work. So good for them, because now we can finally butcher that single iguana that's out there. At this point, I think it would be better just to do forever for the simple meals, because I don't know if we're going to have enough to do anything else. And we also have a cold snap, which it's already in winter, so we might lose the crops that we already barely started and are growing at most 30% done. All right, so we actually have our first herd of thrombos coming through, which I think is going to be everything we need. It's already told us we're low on food, but I mean, that's going to feed us, I guess, for a colony of 12, maybe a few days, but that's going to be just some really important meat. So let's get our first community activity together. All right, ready up, soldiers. Of course, I don't think that these thrombos would stay here very long anyways, because they only eat trees, and as you remember, we just have our sacred cactus over here. All right. Let's line up the forces. And if somebody dies, this could be our first death for the competition. Mistakes were made. Oh no. I think we're about to lose quite a few people. I think we're going to have to get them to start running. And right off the bat, you can already tell somebody is slower. Acevedo, I think, is an elderly individual. I think is the one with bad back. Yeah, and that's going to be the reason why she's about to die. And Roka, apparently, for no reason, 13-year-old, no health issues whatsoever, just was singled out by this thrombo, apparently. All right, so it looks like Roka was harmed a little bit by the thrombo. Will he make it? He's down, but I think he's going to be all right. Just like that, they actually pulled through. All right, then let's go ahead and find out who's the best doctor. Looks like the party animal is the best doctor. No comments. And I think just like that, we have food again. So, ooh, just like that, Callie tried to woo Horn by describing her as a bright star. I think that's, of all the things I've seen in this game, of ways to try to woo someone, not the worst. She wasn't interested, probably because, he's twice her age. Yeah, I don't blame Horn for saying no matter how much of a star he calls her. Oh, shoot. Just like that, the rice plants are dying now. Yeah, this is going to be a rough game. Maybe this will be a short series this time around. Yeah, because at this point, I don't think that many people are going to make it very long. We're running low on food. Plants are dying. The only animals that have crossed in, we have immediately killed for food. This might be a struggle, not going to lie. This is going to be interesting, though. We do have something, a mechanoid transponder. I haven't seen that before. I'm really interested to see what that is. I wonder if we have to Doesn't look like we can deconstruct it, so I'm thinking that we're going to have somebody go over there and start shooting at it and see what happens. I'm going to get these 5 right here, minus Meso, our chef, that I found. Get him over here to find out what that's all about. I don't think this is going to be food related, but you never know. Yeah, looking over here, I do see that we have a Gilmore girl. Reminds me of that show. Shoot, I think we're about to rename her in honor of. Let's see, she's 41. I haven't actually watched the show a whole lot, but it is something that my family watched growing up. My sister and my mother. So, shoot, how does that song go? Oh well. Welcome, Lori. The Slaughterer. That's not how I really remember her. Or being a cannibal. I think this is probably a little bit of a different character than that show. But equally bad shot. Probably. Oh man, we already have issues with hypothermia. With us having no wood, I didn't think that we would need the wood for fire. But now I'm thinking there's not really much hope unless we can get a heater going. Oh no. Meso's gonna be really important, looks like. Both into construction and a cook. Which, you know, maybe not everything we need, but still sounds like he's gonna be really important. Insulting spree. Okay, so cat is really mad. Okay, 8 raw food. I do understand that for being a reason to be mad. Maybe not for calling Smelly. Let me guess, Smelly.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Compared her to a fiend. Yikes. This is a 56-year-old lady. So a 56-year-old lady is following a teenager around, calling her a fiend, while they're both getting frostbite. Yikes. Okay, so it looks like this is about to explode. Let's get these guys away from it. Okay, a mechanoid transponder? That's interesting. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and let these guys go. I'm guessing... No, actually, it looks like they're fine. So what can we do with this here? Decrypt. Okay, Lori. Never mind. Oh, shoot. Immediately got her on fire. And she has hyperthermia. That sucks. Hopefully we can get something going for her pretty soon. Okay, now let's decrypt it. Okay, Cat couldn't reach Smellies, so she decided to take her anger out on Lori. Kind of a jerk move there. I would say just stop getting angry with everybody. Chill out. Man, already though, we do have 2 people who can't even get out of bed. Due to all this, I'm gonna have to find out a way to transport them over here to where there's a heater. I'm thinking, let's see, we're gonna have them moved. It is gonna get rid of their beds. I think this is more important though. You can save the temperature. Okay, so hopefully at this point, people are gonna start prioritizing not being so cold. Man, already she can't reach Lori now, so now she's going to go take it out on Callie. Kat is just she's making enemies. I guess she's letting everybody know she's in this game to win, and not by being friendly. Meso was tired, but at this point we need food. So let's see if we can get him there, and then see if we can get Lori as well to start butchering the other thing. Yeah, we need food. Stupid wind. Okay, so it looks like selling an update with the thing that we had researched a second ago, decrypted. We have a quest coming up here. Alright, you have decrypted an ancient transponder revealing the location of a mechanoid ship in orbit. The ship is badly damaged, but you can signal it to land nearby. The ship contains the remains of a long-dead mechanator. That's great. I have used mechanators before. Best way I can describe them is basically just people who can create their own mechs. Very fun to play with them. That would be really interesting here. Mechanators can create and control, control mechanoids for work in combat. Mechanators can create and control mechanoids for work in combat by extracting the deceased mechanator's mech link. You can turn one of your own colonists into a mechanator. That would be nice. I don't know how helpful that will be out here, but I'm sure we could figure out something. Of course, we're going to have to pick somebody who can do that. Probably going to go with whoever has the higher stat for what a mechanator needs. I think it's either research or crafting skills. One of the two. Let's just see. But let's go ahead and accept quest. Alright. There it goes. Oh shoot. And immediately the mech starts coming over and starts shooting at us. And it was a pop idol named Min, dead for 31 years. Okay. So this is a problem. I didn't expect them to be coming out fighting immediately. We're gonna have to get warriors out here. Alright, so Zach is gonna be the first one going out there fighting, and that's a little concerning, especially since he is like the main medic. I don't know about main. Nope, no, I'll take that back. He is definitely one of the main. And okay, it looks like no, he's not going to be the only one taking a hit. As if we didn't have enough problems with our crops, now we're having crops being eaten. If I find out if that's the monkey, it definitely has been the monkey. All right, no more monkeys, no more dog. We kill it. Okay, that was a little anticlimactic. Alright. And we have two people here. Looks like they're not even holding guns anymore. I don't know where one of them even went. I have to find your gun. Here we go.
Alright, so back to the madness. Oh my gosh. These crops are not going to make it. I wouldn't be surprised if by the time these grow, there might be 3 colonists left at this point, which, you know, maybe it's better, but we have gotten thrombos. Thank you, Vorus, goddess of creation, giving us thrombos to eat. Everybody's hurt, everybody's cold, nobody's happy. I take that back. Actually, a decent amount of people are happy. There is... Never mind, there are 6 people who are upset, and one who's an additional person who's going through a mental episode right now. Yikes. Alright, once we get that Pop Idol's mech link out, we're going to have to figure out what to do with that. Let's find a happy person to go over there. You're shivering, but not too bad. What were they doing up there? Only imagine. Alright, let's haul that until we can figure out more about what to do with the mech link later. Callie. Oh my gosh. Okay. That's a problem. We have a... Oh my gosh, I don't even know what to do about that person. I think we're gonna have to arrest them. So, Smelly's gonna have to arrest Camarillo, because she was going to destroy all the medicine. That is terrible. Okay, so we got her. Let's go ahead and release her. Don't usually do that, but I We can't let her destroy all the medicine. Oh, we do have a ton of other medicine. I guess that would have been fine, but oh my gosh, she was looking to kill people. At this point, we don't even have enough beds still. All right, and we finally have power. Let's hopefully get some meat on the grill before the wind dies down again. Ah, disgusting. Everyone's just eating raw meat, which I don't really blame them. We're kind of in desperate times here. But, oh my gosh, it's disgusting. Alright, you know what? I think this is fair. A murderous rage. Alright, let's see. Because she's just a pessimist. Man, that sucks. Okay, but let's find out. Is Lori going to defend herself well against this psycho who's gone to a murderous rage? Alright, at this point, Lori's more interested in her food. I think she's just not going to defend herself. Okay, I'm going to have to go ahead and just draft her so she can fight back. I thought they normally would. Alright, let's find out what happens. If Lori goes down, I think I'm just going to have to let it happen. Battle of the century right here, guys. They're both terrible at hitting each other. Oh my gosh. And in the middle of this, Zach comes over trying to hit on both of them, I guess. What is he saying? Mentioning his own mining skill. Yeah, not the time, Zach. Okay, and Laura successfully defends herself. Good one, Zach. I'm sure it's because you were here. How about you help Smelly get back on her feet? Oh, and there goes Zach. Okay, so... shoot. Okay, Horn's gonna get Zach. Giddy, how would you help him get back on his feet? Oh, but Zach is... Okay, we're gonna need him inside though. Okay. I think we're gonna need some more of these, unfortunately. So is the time. And thankfully we have some people eating food, like real food. Do we have anyone in their right mind who can cook? He's sleeping. Yeah, I think we're gonna have to... I think we're just gonna have to stop people who try to eat the food that's not cooked, because at this point we're gonna need every little bit, and if they try to do that, it's actually not worth the same level of nutrition. Fun fact, if you don't cook your food, it's not worth as much for your body. Keep that in mind. And right when I wasn't looking, Lori now destroyed 75 medicine. No words. What are you reading here? Surviving complex tailoring following reverie. What a name. Okay, what does it do though? How to do clothing, which we already know, so thanks for doing nothing, I guess. That does remind me though, I think we do need some form of entertainment. We need a lot of things, but we might as well go ahead and try to get some sort of entertainment. Maybe they'll boost the spirits, get people to stop killing each other. So we'll put some good old-fashioned horseshoe pins. Anyone who can do construction. So again, let's do somebody else. Miss Horn, if you don't mind. And there you go. We got that going. Zach is back on his feet. Wait. and I do think we're going to need some defenses. It says that we're going to be raided soon. Usually the first raid is pretty easy, but yeah, I don't know. You never really know. So let's go ahead and set up our little line of defense. Hopefully they don't come around on the side where we don't really expect them. Looks like we have a little bit of just sand to walk across right here. Might be able to build a wall all the way across here just to keep them from coming over that way, but then again, they'll probably just go around in the water, knowing how this game usually works. Well, let's just see what happens. Got some the Raka Star right here. He was going through a psychotic wandering near the mines. He's having a rough time, I guess. Already we're running low on food. We have, it says 3 bars of food, but I think that's just referring to what's in actual storage. I think we have some more otherwise. But yeah, until we get some wind going, we're not going to be cooking anything. We already have some starvation going on. Oh, that's rough. Smelly. Okay, well, that was kind of Smelly's fault. Let's not get ourselves here. Let's get that guy who was hitting on her earlier to feed her. I'm sure he'd like that. Wait, no, I think he was hitting on someone else, but you know, that party animal. He'd hit on a rock if it wouldn't reject him. All right, so we finally cooked everything that we could cook. 10 meals for 12 people. I guess all I can say is I wish that this here pop idol wasn't dead for 30 years, or else we could have hopefully chopped them up for some more meat, but you know, nothing we can do about it now. Who knows, maybe we'll get a raid coming over here and you know, get some meat. We might have to make do with what we can get. Alright, so we actually have somebody who's a little happy. They love animals, they want to tame something. This is not a place that we can tame, so that's not going to happen. And now I'm wondering, and I'm going to look at it to double check. Yes, we're actually in an extreme desert, which I didn't realize when we set ourselves over here, but that makes sense now. I'm looking at all this, that's why this is so difficult. Yeah, there's no way that there would be no reason for any kind of migration or anything. Thankfully, Rimworld logic, it doesn't follow that. We may actually just have to go raid the only civilization nearby, just for the sake of having food. Watch us go over there, of course, and they're just as hungry as we are. Let's find out, though. Alright, so it looks like we got some people farming. Getting hopefully some food in the future. At this point, it's not even 50% done for the rice, which, for those of you who don't know, rice does not actually give you that much food once it actually is harvested. That's why it does grow the quickest compared to the other crops, but yeah, there's not much that comes out of it. Potatoes is kind of the staple, normal food, and we're about a quarter way done with some of the plants. So yeah, this is gonna be rough. And there's our 4 beds that we've been missing. Yikes! None of these are even that comfortable, apparently. Kelly doesn't seem to mind too much. Just hungry. So I don't blame him. We're completely out of food at this point. Just preliminary. Gonna go ahead and make this human-like, because we are gonna need that meat when the time comes. Another sad wanderer. Oh yeah, because she tried to break all the medicine. She was imprisoned, and now she's sad about that. Misu's coming over there to tell her, hey, it happens. Or take deep breaths. That didn't help her, though. Now, Zach has fixated his rage on Kat. He will follow Kat around, insulting her. Man. I mean, he is hungry. And I think Kat was the one doing that earlier, so maybe she kind of deserves it. Yeah, see how she likes it. Just being constantly insulted. Oh, here we go. Miso coming in again. Trying to calm him down. Let's see. Nope, he's it's just a table. We will be fine. No, it wasn't about the table, man. Okay, then they just start fighting. Alright, now we have another tantrum. Everyone's gotta take it out on the medicine. We did in prison for that last time. Where's she even going? She already tore it all up before I could even look over. I've never seen that happen. 3 times in a row, they want to destroy the medicine. Which luckily they're all in different stacks. But now we went from, I think, 170 something in medicine to now down to 30. I really thought we weren't going to have to worry about that. Man, it's like they know that this is competition, and they gotta get rid of some of the other contestants, it sounds like. Okay, everyone's dealing with starvation, minus Miso, for some reason, and I've come to the conclusion we need to break into these ancient civilizations here. So let's go ahead and see what we can find. Maybe we can even find scarabs in there. Nobody's going to want to eat that, but I think they'll be happier to eat that than anything else. Let's see what we find inside. Is Zach shooting faster? Okay, I don't know why. Okay, not what we were hoping for, but it looks like we got 5 mechs inside. So more medicine if they don't break it, and some crypts, along with a crate. So, alright, let's just see what happens. Okay, let's go ahead and get everyone divided up here because they're going to start getting shot at. No, Zach's getting shot at. Zach is down. At party animal. My party was last time. Crawling to bed. Okay. Alright, and just like that, I'm going to go ahead and let anyone who is hurt, looks like it was just Carrillo, and I guess, who's that, Smelly the patient. I'm going to go ahead and let her rescue Zach, and hopefully treat Carrillo as well. And the rest of you, we're going to go look for some food. Alright, so in here, it looks like we got some medicine. We got an advanced component. I doubt that's going to be helpful for us. Miso, you're the closest one. Let's open it up. Anything could be popping out of these. I think meat's back on our menu, boys.
Like meat's back on the menu, boys!
Callie's been shot several times by a machine pistol. That's not good. Now Horn's getting shot. But they did take that person down. Alright, now we're going to go over on this side. Take down Jack. Okay. I hate to say it, but we have some corpses. I'm really tempted to take down Sanchez and anyone else that we can get our hands on. We might need to. Or are we gonna drop that low? Maybe not. But we will let these people bleed out. And we'll collect their bodies later. And we did collect some nice weapons. So at some point we're going to let different people grab some better weapons. And hopefully that will help them with survival. Alright, Miso. Oh, he already knows. Time to bring them in for butchering. Alright. Gonna go ahead and make this a stockpile for any kind of dead body. And I do mean any kind of dead body. So long as it's not rotten. Oh, yeah, hold up. At least... You have to at least cook it. I mean, we're not animals here. Alright, let's see. I think all meat... Alright, what seems to be the problem here? Missing 2 raw food. Missing 2 times raw food. We don't... Oh, there's probably other people trying to... Yeah. Other people are trying to eat that food. Okay. Well, that's not good. Here we go. You guys come over here. Be ready to eat some when it's time. No. What is wrong with you? There's food right there. And of course he throws a tantrum because he's malnourished even though there's food right in front of him. Okay. Yeah, it's something you don't like. I think that's gonna be for everybody here. Okay, so we got some meals into some people. We need somebody else to be willing to start butchering. Looks like Callie's not doing well. And people don't heal if they don't have enough food. So, or they have malnutrition. So, any of these people who are laying down here, it's not looking great for them until there's enough food that not only the doctor is willing to eat for themselves, but there's enough food for the doctor to then want to feed them afterwards. Right? You gotta start cooking. Nope, you gotta wait your turn. Look at these animals just coming over just to eat raw human meat. The psychos that they probably are. Okay, no. Alright, so there's some people getting some food. Good for them. Oh my gosh, and there's pemmican right here. We've been eating human meat when that wasn't the only thing that was on the menu. Oh well, somebody will find that and be grateful to not have to eat human for a little bit. Alright, let's see if we can find someone who can cook, who's not tired. Laureatus, I guess? Hominid intermittent community. Oh my gosh. What happened? He died from malnutrition. I really didn't expect that. We have our first death. Raka the Star. He'll be able to headbang in heaven now. Whatever Vorus has planned for him afterwards. Normally, let's see. To begin a ritual, select a grave containing Roka's corpse and click the... But we may need the food. I hate to say it, but I think we need the food. Oh man. We have some dead bodies that we might be able to cut up. We've got some rice. No, you know what? There are limits. We're not going to do that. So, let's see. All right. The first grave, and we're going to need 11 total because no one's going to be able to bury the last one. Let's go ahead and get somebody to do some construction. Wow. I think Lori was about to pick him up to cut him up, wasn't she? What was she gonna do? She is a cannibal. Does she have... She's actually loving this. I think this is probably the best person. Okay, she does love animals, and she's not gonna be able to use that. But no, she is actually happy. We are cutting people up and eating them. Psycho. And she's the cook. Man, no, she's loving it. She's grabbing her body. She's going for seconds. I would be scared. Alright, so we're gonna let her chop up that last person. And cook some more food just so that people stop eating their raw food. And look at that. They're not happy. Husband. Oh my gosh, I didn't even realize. Okay, looks like we do have some relationships here. Let's take a look. Okay, so it looks like Harris and Carrillo are husband and wife. That's gonna be really sad as time goes on. Kat is Harris's mother-in-law, which means that that's Carrillo's mom. Yeah, see the resemblance. Oh, wait, wrong person. It's the eyes. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. As the eyes. All right, and we also have Horn is Carrillo's aunt. All right, is there anyone else? Oh, Callie is an ex-lover of Kat, which that's quite the age gap. Probably part of the reason why it didn't work out. Let's see, anyone else here? Okay, so it looks like we just have one family. Horn, Kat, Carrillo, and Harris, and somewhat Callie. Yikes. Okay, well, just like that. Okay, we have lots of the cooked food that we can make, and let's go ahead and have our first funeral. Looks like moral guide. Let's go ahead and before we even bother doing that, let's go ahead and decide who the moral guide is. I think Lori, the cannibal. We'll go ahead and decide that she is the moral guide. Oh man, why do we do that? Okay, but the real leader is going to be Ace Vito. Just for the social skills, that's, I think, going to be important. So, I have it. Alright, so we've done that. Now we have the funeral. She's discussed life after death, beginnings and endings, the nobility of sacrifice. She was gonna cut him up. I think she might be giving subliminal messages like, guys, look, it's noble to sacrifice. He sacrificed his body. Who knows? We do have one other body to chop up, so that's not much food. Oh man, desperate times. She offers her thoughts on death as a path to dignity. And food, I would imagine. Oh gosh, and just like that, Cat's not having it. Leaving the funeral, wondering if she even really believes this ridiculous... It's even called a cult. The Redillian cult. That should be the first flag. First red flag, it's a cult in the name. Second red flag, the moral guide, the leader, of this religious group is a cannibal. Not that the religion teaches cannibalism, but the leader is a cannibal. Yeah, I don't blame Cat for leaving. Now Lori is describing absent friends. What? What a backhand comment towards Cat, who's leaving. Okay, going back to beginning and endings. Right. Again, talking about Cat behind her back. Okay, since it looks like you're going to be here for a while, Giddy. Not really the time Giddy. But he wants to name the faction and the settlement. Okay. Hisman Fundio. Let's call this Vorus's Beach. It sounds lovely. Lovely this time of year, as you know. And wait, no, that should be the name of our place here. Our faction should be called Vorus's Cult. Not to be confused with the actual religion. Alright, Giddy. Back to the funeral. We're celebrating the next step. And concept of a good life. Okay, and people loved it. I would have thought that would have been a really awkward funeral. I mean, you have somebody, and she's eating the only food that's not cannibalized food. Probably because she's upset that everybody's eating human flesh. Wow. What a time. On that note, though, I'm going to call it there. Go ahead and leave comments to who do you think is going to die next, and if you have an idea of who's going to be the winner, go ahead and throw that in too. I do have a few thoughts. I think Lori is going to do really good with her cannibalism. Although that's probably going to be negated a little bit now that she is a moral guide. They do have, where is this? Of course, she's going to want higher apparel. I believe at some point they do have higher expectations, and that's going to lower their mood a little bit. Miso seems to be super helpful, so I think that he's going to be someone to keep an eye on. And same with Zach, although right now he's starving, so we'll get back to that next time. He did try hitting on Lori. Apparently she wasn't feeling it. What do you say? Oh, too long ago to even remember, but oh boy, what a time. Bloodlust? Okay, I think Zach has just scored higher on my list of people I think is going to make it. Let me know if you think differently. Alright, see you in the next video.